The following program is rated TV-17, containing bad language,
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
sexual situations,
Like, you gonna take your pants off and stay?
nudity,
Sure.
and graphic depictions of nut-crunching dick kicks.
Oh, I just had to kick in the diddly again.
Parental discretion is advised.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me tonight on the Ronin Joe Show. We're going to talk about, is Superman in trouble? Maybe. There's a white Black Panther. Can you believe it? The meme came true. We're going to talk about that and the uprising that it might cause or is causing. And also, Sue Storm is the girl boss. All this tonight on the Ronin Joe Show. Let's go. That's right, it is the Ronin Joe Show. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, Ronin Joe, the very sexy, the very talented, the very distinguished, all that good shit. You know it. That is me. Welcome. Great to see you guys here on this Sunday night to kickstart your week, which I enjoy doing. It's going to be a fun show. It seems that Superman and Fantastic Four are in the news a lot. Of course, so the movies are going to be coming out here in a couple months, so why wouldn't they be? So we're talking about it a lot. But a lot of new news is coming out, and we're going to talk about it for a second. And anything else that might pop into the chat's mind, I'm down to talk about it as well. This is a show we just shoot from the hip. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wearing any pants, by the way. Just so you guys know. Just say hi to the chat real quick. Hail the Lore was the one that I saw first. Number one in the chat. Number one in the hearts. That means you, my friend, are... Yes, you are. And as always...
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king indeed, my friend. Glad you are here. We have Mark Penguin in the house, and anytime Mark is here, I have to play this.
So, Mr. Penguin, a penguin is a bird that cannot fly. I am a man. I have a name.
And that name, my friends, is Mark Penguin. Great to see you. Thank you for being here, as always. Who else we got here in the chat? Oh, we go. Heath Ward, the first member... I think. Let me just make sure, because I did see Rick Saylor in there. Oh, no, I missed it. All right. That's my bad. Rick Saylor, first member in the chat. I got to give this to him. Oh, it feels so good to have the members in the chat tonight, as always.
Common thread in all of my failed schemes is human stupidity. People are just too stupid to accept me as their leader.
That is true. That is always true. Now we can get to Heath Ward, Cosmic Studio in the house. Great to see you, brother.
Afternoon. Looks like sex in here.
Yes, it does. Let's go. We got Pizza here as well, saying hello. Hello to you. Hope all is well. Who else we got here of the regulars? All my favorites are in the house. We have Sheldon Martin.
Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Member of the channel here, rocking and rolling. Appreciate you. Who else we got? Let's pick a couple more. Oh, there we go. We got Edwin in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I think it's going to be a fun show. As always, mini shows are always fun. Do me a favor, though, guys. Wherever you're at, please share this out. Let people know that we're live. I say this all the time on any show. If you're modded up in another channel, you go into their DMs, you go into their chat, you drop the links to the show, you say, we drop what you're doing, and you come watch the Ronin Joe Show and join in on the fun. If they get pissed at you, you tell them to send me a DM. I'll take care of it. It's all good. Trust me. Trust me. It's cool. I got you. Here's a name I haven't seen in a second. Nexon. So Yo Joe. Yo, what's up with you, man? Great to see you. Things are going good, man. Things are going really good. This is really... There you go. Yeah, why I say I've not seen him in the chat, but definitely drop the links. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you. No, things are going great. Reaper Destroyer is almost out. I have 167 orders to send out. And then we're done. We dropped the Brett Booth cover on Otten Stuff on Thursday, which looks awesome for Reaper Destroyer issue 2. And I'm going to be gearing up to drop the mailing list here, hopefully in a couple weeks, very soon, getting ready to launch that second issue. I'm hoping in August. I keep pushing it back because I want to have a lot of the book done, or as much of the book as I can done before I launch. And I want to get past this first campaign. So, yeah, no, everything is going great. I appreciate you asking. All right, let's jump into here. Let's kill the music. Although it is rocking. It is rocking. I do love it very much. Oh, now it's too quiet. I need to have a different segue. You know, it goes from that killer music and then just to this quietness. And it throws me off sometimes. I don't know. I don't get it. All right, guys. How you all doing, though? I see Rick dropping. Rick is one of our great mods, dropping links to everybody in here. I appreciate that. Supporting everybody that is in the chat. Usually YSA is a great artist. Is in here. He'll probably be in here later. But yeah, definitely go sub to his channels. Thank you, Rick. That is awesome. All right, let's get into some things. If you guys know the show, you know that I talk about things that are from Sunday to Sunday. So anything that happens within Sunday, I'm going to talk about in between the two Sundays. Hopefully some good big things drop and I can talk about it closer to Sunday, so it's not already everyone's talked to death about it by the time I get to it. But sometimes that's just the way it is. There's a few things I want to cover. Before I do, I have, if you guys notice, one, YouTube has been doing this new thing in the chat. I got an email about it. It's like a top contributor or something, which you'll notice that some people in the chat have like a crown and a number next to their name. And I guess this keeps track of who is commenting the most, super chatting the most, interacting, whatever the most. And it will fluctuate as the chat goes. So you could be number one now, you could fall to 3 to whatever. So I'm keeping a track of the amount of people that win number one on every show. Hail the Lore won on Not and Stuff. And I'm going to try to keep track and start having a leaderboard here coming up so we can celebrate the people that are doing the most interactions in the chat. Hey, we got the Gooch in the house. What is going on, brother? Yo, what's up, everyone? What's up, brother? What's up to you, my friend? I miss you. I hope you're doing well. It's been a second since we have seen face-to-face. We've talked, we streamed, but you're doing a lot of busy things, getting things done, and I'm rooting for you. Everybody, I say this all the time. If you guys haven't yet, which I'm hoping you have if you're a regular to the show, go sub to Gooch's channel, Diabolical Soul Studios. Great shows over there, great content. He's absolutely killing it. Some of the best content you're going to see on a Sunday night at 11:11. Make sure you tune in to Late Night with the Gooch. Great panel out there and have a blast. Appreciate you, brother, being in here. Lame, I'm always number one. This is really who's no. Well, you were number one, I think. Now you're number two. Who is number one right now? Let me look back through the chat. Who is holding the Mark Pengrin? Is holding the number one slot. There you go. All right, start the rival right now. Rick and Mark, you guys are going to duke it out. I can feel it. He is a busy man. Yeah, doing a lot of things. So the second thing I want to do, I'm going to try this. I've got a goal in the chat as well for super chats. Now, I don't know if this will ever be done, but I'm trying to set it some way so that potentially it won't ever be done. But this could be fun if it is. So I've got a goal for a $50 or more super chat. And it could be that we equal $50 in the show or someone sends a $50 super chat. But if we reach that, you get to pick a song, any song that you want, and I will perform it on the next Ronin Joe show. It has to be something I can play on the acoustic. I can play and sing at the same time. And while I'm doing that, the fun thing is going to be about this goal. While I'm doing that, I want the chat to roast the hell out of me while I'm singing. So if we reach that goal and I actually sing a song live on the next show, I want everybody to, the best roast. I want people just, roasting the hell out of me as I sing the song live on the acoustic. So that's a goal. That's going to be going for about 45 minutes. If we hit it, we do. If we don't, it is what it is. So, all right, let's move on with the show. And do you hear that? The old Rush Limbaugh, is that what he did? I've got something here. Early Father's Day present from my daughter. If you guys have kids, and if they're younger like mine's 6 years old, she finished kindergarten. They are now out for the summer. In the fall, she's going to be a first grader, which is crazy. Growing up fast. But she comes home with this, and she's like, I want to give this to you early. This is a early Father's Day present. If you can see right here. And it's something that she wrote up in school. And it made me laugh. Because she did a great job. But it says, me and my dad. And she drew this really cool picture. She's got some talent. I'm telling you guys, like, she's got some stuff that I've seen a lot of talent in her with her art at such a young age, understanding certain anatomy and stuff like that. Yeah, it still looks like, triangles and all this stuff, but I think she's going to be good. I think she's going to take after her old man, who is young according to this. But she says, so this is me and my dad. And she says, my dad is 32 years old. And I have to say, yes, I'll take that. Absolutely. I don't know where she came up with that number, but I'm all about that. 32 years old. Let's go with that. Ronin Joe, 32. She said, my dad likes to, and she put in here, relax, which is also true. I work very hard during the week. We stream, I draw. And sometimes on the weekends, all I want to do is sit down on the couch, watch some TV or watch her play or let her watch whatever she wants to watch. And I'll put it on my headphones and listen to a podcast and just relax. So she got that as well. Next, she says, my dad says, I love you. And that is true. I tell my daughter I love her all the time because I want to make sure that she always knows that her daddy loves her. She says, I like to play checkers with my dad, which is kind of funny because she didn't like it for the longest time because I don't let her win. I'm trying to teach her how to play checkers. You know, I'm not the greatest at it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not one of those dads that just wants to let my child win. I want her to learn how to play the game and learn how to lose as well. So it's funny that she put that on there. My dad's favorite thing is to drink coffee. And although that's not my favorite thing, she does nail that. She sees me in the morning. That's what I do every morning, make some coffee, and that's what I do. I drink the coffee. So shout out to her for paying attention. And lastly, she says, I love when my dad snuggles with me. So I thought that was awesome. I want to share that with you guys. I don't have a kindergartner anymore. She's going to be first grade in the fall. And I thought that was an awesome early Father's Day gift. So just want to share that with you guys. Barbie girl. Oh, for singing? I mean, hey, if the money gets there, I'll sing whatever. But I have to be able to play it on the acoustic. And I have to be able to play it and perform it live for everybody. And then the fun thing is you guys get to roast the hell out of me in the chat. I think that'll be awesome. It'll be fun. Sheldon Martin says, how do we know what you can play? Is there a list? So whoever wins will negotiate it in the chat while we're live on this particular show. So we have it set for the next show. So you tell me what your first option is, and I'll let you know if that's something I can actually perform and sing at the same time. Because, you know, I can do that stuff, but there's certain songs that are more complicated than others that I'm not gonna be able to play and sing at the same time, but that's got to be it. So we'll come to an agreement that'll be solidified. And then the next week I will perform that song. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's crazy. The years are going by, the years are going by. She's the next generation of talented artists. I do believe so. I see some things in her that she just does naturally that impressed the hell out of me that I wasn't doing at 6 years old. So I think she's definitely got a future. Rick is AI. That, you know what? If I hadn't met Rick in real life, I could be down with that. I could be. I think the old right said Fred song would be fun. I think some old right said Fred song would be fun. Hey, anything, man. Anything. What the hell is this new XP shit? XP. What do you mean, Bionic? Bruh. I don't get it. Explain that. I'm not sure. XP. Said introducing her to Styx. I like it. Okay, what we got going on here? It's a goal. So it's either we raise $50 throughout the entire stream collectively, or somebody sends a 50 or more super chat. That happens, then I will perform a song. We'll pick it together. So I guess that, if it's a collective thing, then the entire chat is going to have to be in on it, and we'll figure out the song. If one person does it, then you get to choose, and we'll figure that out. We'll do it that way. Jay Blue is in the house. Says, hey, Ronin, hey, chat. Didn't get to tell you last stream, but you look like Joe Mad. Thank you. I will take that. Yes. And I've actually been told that before. I think Sean, when he first met me, I used to have my hair like really short, and I was like really trimmed up, and I was tan back in the day, back in my early 20s. And he right off the bat, he's like, dude, you look like Joe Mad. And I was like, I'll take it. Third Eye Blind Jumper is a fun song to sing. Yeah, it could be a song that you want to see me make a fool of myself, or it could be a song you actually want me to see perform it. I'll do the best I can. I mean, I can sing, but my range is a lower range. So it would be fun. But I think the fun thing is that I would play the song, and the chat would be able to have free range to roast me as I'm doing it. And I think we could all get along with that. Star Wars Marvel Purist is in the house. What's up, Joe, in the chat? Been loving Rob Liefeld's YouTube channel. Great stuff. Are you doing reprints of your first comic? First of all, that channel is great. I'm liking that he's doing the YouTube podcast of his actual podcast. I've been really enjoying that as well. And yes, I'm going to do reprints on the second campaign. We'll re-release issue 1, but it'll have a brand new cover. All the covers we did on issue or the first campaign will not be reprinted. That's a one and done collector's issue, but the reprinting will be done on the next campaign, so you will be able to catch up. Absolutely. These crowns. Oh, so if you guys don't know, YouTube is doing something new, and I'm gonna say this again. We're gonna jump onto the subjects here, but YouTube is doing something new, and it's showing like the top contributors in the chat. So if you how much you comment, super chat, the interactions, I think is what it does. You will have a number 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever throughout, and it will fluctuate. And the goal is we're trying to get who is number 1 at the end of the show. Halo Lore won on Thursday's Ott and Stuff, and we're going to start a leaderboard here. And we're going to start keeping track throughout the shows we do here on the Ronin Joe channel to see who are the top contributors. And maybe at the end of the year or something, we'll do something special for the top contributor overall on the channel. But it's pretty fun. I like that they put that on there. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't got anything yet. It's something that just popped in my mind today. I was like, this could be fun. We'll see. We'll see if it catches fire. We'll see what happens. But I'm starting it tonight, and we're going to do it every single show. Actually, maybe it should just be a Ronin Joe show thing. Maybe it'll just be Ronin Joe's show. Because, yeah, we'll just do that on the Ronin Joe show. How much have Sean and Kayla seen? Shit, that'd have to be like 100, because I'd have to get them on board, and I doubt there's no way Kayla would do it. I don't think. Any War members only jackets? Yes, I didn't, but that's the rumor. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I like this. I like it. You're totally gonna be doing horse with no name. Oh, good Lord. I hope not. I hate that song. Okay, let's jump into some things. Let's talk about some stuff. I'm always browsing X. I'm trying to figure out things I want to talk about before I jump into the subjects that I picked that they're interesting to me, that I saw pop up. And this first thing, there is a show coming out called Alien. Am I doxing anybody here? I always got to make sure my DMs are shut when I bring this stuff up. Not that you really see anything except for my own personal DMs, which I guess is not a big deal. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's fine. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Not open. All right. This, to me, now rewind this. Alien Earth. We've been talking about this for a second. Been seeing like the teasers coming out, read a little bit about it. I'm a big fan of the Alien series. Not all of them have been great. I've said that before. I feel like this could be good. I haven't watched this entire trailer. I wanted to save it for you guys because I want to do kind of first reactions with you guys. Sometimes I'll watch them, sometimes I won't, but I save this one specifically for you. I want to know in the chat, are you guys fans of the Alien series? Are you looking forward to this? I think it's going to be on Hulu and Disney Plus if you got either of those two. But I definitely want to check this out because I think this could be good. If they do it right, there's always a chance that they're going to mess things up. Let me not do that. They've been dinging me lately on these trailers, but you know what? I don't care. All right, here we go. Alien Earth. This is the official trailer to the series coming out in a little bit. Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Oh shit.
2, 1.
Just that little teaser right there was pretty good. Let me turn down just a little. Netherlands Research Island, Earth 2120. All right. I like this. Let's go.
How's our girl?
She's ready.
You're going to be the first person to transition
Oh, shit.
from a human body to a synthetic.
Oh, okay.
Special.
That's right.
We see the origin of the synthetic humans or whatever.
Very special.
Actually, yeah, that's a brand new thing because those were just androids in the original.
We have a downed spacecraft.
I want one.
So far, I'm liking this. Who knows when it comes to the DEI and all that kind of stuff that Hollywood likes to put into their shows, but so far, everything I've seen about this show, I'm liking. So I'm hoping I'm not going to be disappointed when I sit down to watch episode 1.
We can do it. We're fast. We're strong. We don't break.
Yeah, I tried to do that, Rick, but they still ding me on it. It's like there's no way around it. No way.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
Oh, yeah.
This ship collected 5 different life forms.
Yes.
From the darkest corners of the universe.
I love how they're trying to keep the original feel of like Aliens, that kind of aesthetic with the technology and even just the way they kind of film it. Not that you're ever going to be Stanley Kubrick. Let's just put that right out. Like you're not going to get that kind of artsy way of filming a movie. but I do think that they're trying their best. It seems like people that actually like the show, and again, I can be wrong about all this, but that's what I'm seeing so far.
Monsters.
Noah Hawley. I don't know if I know that guy. Oh, that's a good idea. Get a filter you can layer over the video, helps confuse the YouTube program.
Invasive species.
Let's try that.
Predatory.
Oh.
We don't lock them down.
I love the fact that Timothy Olyphant is in this show. He's one of my favorite actors. Going back all the way back to Scream 2 was the first time I saw him, but I really like that he's getting out and doing more TV series and stuff.
It will be too late.
Yeah. That was weird. It's like an octopus looking. That definitely wasn't a face hugger. Let's go back. What is that? Oh, that's crazy. So they're going to have other species than just the xenomorph and the face huggers in this. I guess they'll have all 5 of those that they were talking about in the trailer. Oh, that was cool. All right, here's the thing. Here's gonna be the selling point or not. How do they do the xenomorph? So far, looks pretty good. Looks kind of like a classic. I hope they don't do a lot of CGI. I would love if they went practical effects like they did back in the movies. Get a guy in a suit. You could do CGI sometimes here or there, but get a guy in a suit to do these kind of acrobatics and stuff. Too much CGI, I think, is gonna make the show kind of cheesy. What was that? Go back a little bit. Also, don't show too much of the xenomorphs. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know if I like that at all. That's like too much. I feel like that's too much. We don't need to see that much, of the xenomorph. Do what Kubrick did. Do what Cameron did. Keep them in the shadow. Show them only when you need to, and then show bits and pieces. Don't show the entire body. We don't want full frontal nudity of the xenomorphs. We don't. August 12th. On Earth, everybody can hear you scream. You remember that tagline from the original Alien 3? Before they changed it to the prison colony? Yeah. I don't know. I dig it. I've got hopes for it. Let's say that. I've got hopes that it might be good. It could be trash. It could be horrible. But I'm an optimist. This is what I do here. I'm going to go into the first episode pretty excited. And if it's got garbage CGI, I'm going to be disappointed. The egg sac looked different like a avocado. They always kind of look like avocados, don't they? Let's see. It's a little action figure jumping out of that window. Yeah, that didn't look good at all. And that made me worry a little bit. Like I said, first time I saw that trailer. So I didn't, proof it at all to see what it was going to be or what I was going to talk about. I just kind of wanted to react how I saw it. And that does worry me a little bit, that is the kind of bad CGI I do not want to see in the show. So I hope that that's not a regular thing. Does the scaling look off in that shit? I don't know. See, here's the thing I wonder about Alien Earth. What's the budget like? In TV series nowadays, because you have CGI and or if people are using AI and stuff like now with special effects, they tend to try to go more into that kind of stuff instead of trying to figure out what you can fit within your budget. I was listening to an interview with David Duchovny and Chris, I just lost his name. Chris Carter. They were talking about X-Files. They're just kind of talking about when they did it and everything. They were talking about the reason why X-Files was so dark is because they didn't have a big budget when they started that show. So they had to make it dark so that it came across more scary and that they could kind of hide the fact that they didn't have a big budget. But it became kind of a calling card for that show, and it worked very well, and it worked into the feel of what that is. Nowadays, I feel like shows have way too big of a budget, so they try to fit all this stuff in. When I think if they have if they work within their budget and they want to actually kind of keep that aesthetic and bring back the people that love this series, you're talking about guys like me that we're in our early 40s, late 30s, people that grew up. I wasn't born when the first Alien movie came out, but grew up with that series as kids. Bring us back to that feel, because we've seen way too much of the CGI over the years with some of the movies that have been made. They just show way too much. I think it's the same issue I have with the Predator, showing way too much of the Predator. I just don't think it works. We got AZHQ in the house. M40A Pulse Fires was the best movie gun ever. That clip looked like it had a Temu version of one. Yeah. There are some things I really liked about that trailer. There's some other things I saw that again make me worry, but you're never going to get anything that's 100% great. If it's at least 90%, 80 to 90% great, I think I can enjoy it. As long as the story is good, as long as they don't have some kind of weird political message in there, all that kind of stuff. Just give me some entertaining stuff and then show me a xenomorph every once in a while, but don't do crazy. That's all I'm asking. Rick's dropping links. Appreciate you guys. If you're just jumping into the chat now, we do have a goal in the chat. New thing I'm trying to do here. If we can raise $50 or $50 or more super chat, you get to pick a song that I will play live on the next Ronin Joe show. And then the entire chat, including you, can roast the hell on me while I'm doing it. But it's got to be something I can play on the acoustic. That is the only rule. It's got to be something I can play and perform on the acoustic as well. All right, second thing. Why is that not work? Okay. I need to refresh this. Apparently X went down on this screen. Let's see if I can get it back real quick. There we go. Now you're working. I don't know if it's my computer. It could possibly be my computer, or it could be X, but X has been kind of weird. I saw, let me pause this. Stream. I happened to see this today, and I thought this looked badass. Now, I'm not a huge Invincible fan, and I'm not even a huge gamer, but I saw this advertisement for this fighting game that they did with Invincible, and I think this looks sick as hell. Kind of reminds me of like it's got Mortal Kombat, like all the old Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Primal Rage feel to it, and it's just got that wicked blood. I actually think this looks pretty good. It might be fun. What do you guys think? I don't even know what it's for. Let me see. If they actually, I didn't actually read the, let me pull that down for a second, make sure I'm not doxing anybody. Clear this out. First look at gameplay for the Invincible fighting game. It's just all it says. Releases next year. Oh, you guys aren't seeing this, are you? Sorry. There we go. Releases next year. Does this play like Killer Instinct? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Weird energy in the comment. Don't understand what's to hate. Oh, apparently people don't like this. I think it looks cool. I mean, it depends. I know people get really, really protective over their gameplay, and I don't know. I'm not a gamer, so shit doesn't bother me. I just want something that's going to entertain me for a little bit. And if that's the case, I'm down. I hope it's like a console game and not something that's for your phone. I get really sick of games that are made for your phone because none of them seem to really, really look good at all anymore. What is this? Why is this up here? What is going on over here? Still dropping those links, man. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, a TV show doing old school instead of CG will never happen due to the money. Yeah, and then the whole AI revolution thing going on. I got into a debate, friendly debate. It's some good conversation. Most people know how to have a conversation on certain topics, which was nice. But I posted this thing because, like the whole, was it the VOE stuff that Google's put out right now where you can like spend $500, make a 30-second or a minute and 30-second video or something like that. And it's just, it looks great. It looks really good. And of course, people are just be like, no, it's not going to be too long until it completely replaces actors. Like AI is going to completely replace actors. You're going to have full AI movies and all this kind of stuff. And I know that seems to be like the thought process right off the bat. Like, yes, that could be it. However, I don't think that that's actually going to happen. I think that there are people that are disenfranchised with the movies uh, more than actual people are, and they think it's just like we don't care about actors anymore. We don't care about this, blah blah blah. And I don't know, man. Like I think there are still people. I think there are still people that want to see good acting in movies, and I think it's gonna be a long time until you see an entire AI movie. And even when you do, I don't think it's going to become the norm. Uh, because regardless of the way we get tired of actors getting too involved in our politics and our religion, spouting off all, we see way too many of it, right? We get turned off by a lot of stuff we see on social media. I think the art of acting is still something people enjoy seeing. They like to see people perform. And it's been this way ever since it's been on the stage, going back to forever. It's just something you like to go see, someone that can actually have that talent to perform and be a character and bring out emotion in that character for us all to witness and see. I don't think that's going anywhere. I don't think anybody wants to not see that. Plus, I don't think people really understand the way that entertainment works and all of the jobs and all of the unions and stuff that are involved when it comes to that. You can't just at some point have all the big studios decide we're not doing live action anymore. We're just doing AI and we're going to save a bunch of money. There's no way that goes through right off the bat. Will it happen at some point? Sure. But I think we are a little ways off before that actually takes place. All right. Superman. Let's jump into one of our main topics here. Superman could be in a little bit of hot water, depending. I know there is the civil war between the Snyderverse people and the Gunverse people. I'm one of those guys, enjoyed the Snyderverse, and I'm hopeful that the Gunverse is going to be decent. I do have my worries about Superman, and it seems like some of my worries are coming true from some of the things I'm hearing when it comes to this movie. So had this story. Well, first off, they've released a brand new teaser trailer to Superman. It's only 30 seconds long, so let's take a look at it real quick. It's an unfortunate place to pause. I'll just say that.
What you're looking at is the most powerful being on planet Earth.
I really wonder. Remember Man of Steel when Superman had that fight with General Zod at the end, and they just destroy the fuck out of Metropolis, buildings crashing down and all this kind of stuff, and people were just like, there were so many people that died, like all this kind of stuff, blah blah blah. I wonder if they're going to keep that same energy with a scene like this, because there's no getting around it. That many buildings crashing down, so people are going to die.
Not accept that.
I actually want to see what's going on with this. Now, I'm not one of those people that think that well, I take it back. It kind of looks like he's struggling to hold up this building or whatever this is. And I kind of wonder, like, you're Superman. Why are you having an issue holding up anything? You don't have to make him that relatable, like he's struggling. Like, no, you're Superman. If that's a building or if that's anything, you can pick that up and put it right back. You don't have to struggle. Jurassic Park will topple both. The fatigue is real, believe it or not, says Steve Grez. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Steve Grez says, plus people love dinosaurs. Hey, I'm one of those. I do think the Jurassic Park Rebirth is going to do very well. And I think it comes out first before Superman and Fantastic Four. I think it might be a hard act to follow. So keep your eyes open. But I think that movie looks great to me. I know a lot of people are giving it shit because of the mutated dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff. But I do think that movie looks good. So yeah, I think it's going to do very well. I do think there's some really awesome scenes in this. James Gunn knows how to make a movie. I have a problem sometimes with his humor outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second. But he knows how to shoot a movie. I think it looks fine. Special effects, to me, there's some that look a little odd. Maybe they'll still work on that before it gets to the theater. I'm sure they'll probably be working on it until opening night. But I don't know. They released. Let me see if I can find it. Real quick. There was a. Let's see. There was a couple clips that they've been putting out to kind of show the humor in this show. And I think this is my issue with it. I think this is the problem we're going to have. Okay, here we go. Here's a 4-second clip. Let me pause this and bring it up. 4-second clip of Lois roasting Guy Gardner. And this is kind of what worries me about the humor in the movie.
That haircut should be against your vows.
That what? That what should be what?
Maybe in context, that can be funny within the context of the movie. You know, cutting just a 4-second clip like that could be a little deceiving on its own. But I'm just watching a scene like this.
Should be against your vows.
That what? That what should be what?
And I just feel like I feel like the humor is a little bit more forced than it should be. Or it's just humor that we've seen before, nothing new. Like maybe that would get some laughs in the audience in the scheme of things as we were watching the movie. Like, that's, funny, bad haircut, all that kind of stuff. Maybe that lands. I don't know. But there's certain stuff about this that I roll my eyes at. I'm just like, okay, I hope the entire movie isn't filled with this.
That haircut should be against your vows.
That what? That what should be what?
I like this actor. Who is it? It's a dude from Firefly, right? Nathan something. Chat, help me out. It's can't quite remember his name, but I like the actor, and I do believe that he's going to be funny in the role. I just wonder though if it's going to be too much. Like, is he just going to be? I like Guy Gardner as a character as well. I was happy to hear that he was going to be in the movie, but I also wonder, is it going to be too much of? Is he just going to be the comic relief in the movie? Is that all we're getting with him? If that's the case, I hope that's not. I hope that. Oh, yeah, Fillion. Thank you guys. Yeah. Appreciate it. I knew you guys would get it. I couldn't remember. I knew it was Nathan something, but I remember on the Firefly show. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I think the Superman is a lot weaker than the last version because he was too powerful in Snyder's Justice League. I don't know, man. I would disagree with that a little bit. I mean, I don't need Superman to be godlike as far as his strength, right? But he's Superman. I thought the Justice League version of Superman was great. I actually really did. Or the Snyder version of Superman was great, besides the fact that he was darker and didn't smile a lot and like all this kind of stuff. I get all the complaints, and I agree on that. But at the same point, his power set I thought was great. That's Superman, especially in the Snyder cut. To me, that was Superman, right? He's somebody you don't mess around with. I don't need a depowered Superman so that threats can be more intimidating. I just need the threats to be on another level. Roy's in the house. What's going on, brother? So after 911, knowing what happens when buildings fall, these movies got to do better. Oh, yeah. Man of Steel, Snyder brought it with the destruction as it should have been. No, I agree with you on that. I just remember when that happened, like everybody that didn't like that movie, that was a big point of contention, right? Like everybody was bitching about the destruction and the death when it came to Man of Steel because most of the city got destroyed, which in that aspect, I thought it was cool that the story led into Batman v Superman, where Batman would have a grudge against an alien coming to Earth and doing so much destruction. Like a lot of it made sense, and they covered the fact that people died, but a lot of people didn't like that for some odd reason. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, they've got it in this movie with that big old kaiju destroying the city, so I'm wondering if the same kind of people are going to bitch about that like they did last time. Hypocrisy is what they call that. Gunn hasn't missed yet. Until he does, I gotta believe Superman is going to be dope. I agree with you to a point. I didn't like his what was that movie called that he did? Well, Peacemaker was not my favorite, but that's my own thing. A lot of people like Peacemaker. Man, why am I drawing a blank tonight? Every night I come on here and I talk with you guys, there's something that slips in my mind. I'm getting old. Although my daughter did say I'm 32 years old. I got it here in paper. So we'll go with that. Suicide Squad. Thank you. Jeez. I don't know who said it, if anybody said it, but I remembered it. I didn't like his version of Suicide Squad. One, because of the humor. I thought it was humor that we've seen before, and it's humor that's just overplayed to me. That's my worry about the show, and I've been saying it since the beginning. Every time I talk about Superman, I love Superman. I'm looking forward to this movie, but I just really hope it's not the same old humor that we've seen in movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, which works for Guardians, but it might not work for this Superman. Let's see what we got here. I think that clip is for all of us that have called out how bad that haircut is. It's a bad haircut. And people have defended, be like, no, it's the exact same haircut he has in the comics. It's not. Go look at Guy Gardner in the comics. It's not the same haircut. Guy Gardner's hair is buzzed on the side. He's got that stupid, like goofy bowl cut, which looked good for the time, but his hair is buzzed. His head is buzzed. This is not. It's just like this weird bowl cut and it doesn't look right. And I don't think they did a really good job on that, to be honest with you. Here's how everything they do with this Lane actor Lane actor broad, they cover up her big hooters. That is a fact. Boobies all around. Shouts in the chat for boobs. Let's drop super chats if you like boobs. By the way, 4 minutes left on this goal. I can run it again. If we're doing this for the first time, it might not land tonight, but I think it might be fun. You guys want to roast me? You want to see me sing a song, make a fool out of myself? Next week, we got to raise a $50 super chat, and we will get there, and I will do it, and we'll do it until it actually happens. All my family on my dad's side is from Baltimore. Guy Gardner is our Green Lantern, and this looks less than optimal. No, I get you on that, man. I like Nathan Fillion, but Sean William Scott was born to play Guy Gardner. Stifler is just, you know what? I could see that. I'd be down with that. Yep, I can feel that. Will Gunn is stuck in using the same group of characters for everything. Dumb one, strong one, smart one, expandable one, and an animal. Scooby-Doo. That's a good point, man. AZHQ says, can someone give Rodriguez and his new film studio rights to the Top Cow and Wildstorm universe, please? So many more interesting stories and better characters that seem that then the same. Oh, DCU, MCU shit. I got you. No, that'd be great, man. And he's a big comic book fan. I think he would do very well with it. Here's another clip that they put out. Or actually, I don't know if this is a clip. This is something going around, but I saw this. And this, again, it's just one of those things. It's the humor in the show that I wonder about. It's just, again, a 1 second little clip here. But it's the way that they're going to use Crypto and the interactions with Superman and Crypto. Sure, he might be a puppy, but why is he so annoying so far in everything I've seen in the trailers? Is he only here for comic relief and for quote unquote the heart of the show? It's stuff like this. And I'm like, to me, that's not Superman. It's not my Superman. Now, it might come across in the film fine. Now, I'm not going to sit here and shit on everything that I see the Gun does with the Superman, because like I said before, I am looking forward to this movie. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to let you guys know what I think when I do, and hopefully it's good. But there's a lot of things so far that make me worry that this movie could very well not be what we're hoping it's going to be. And there was a article that I saw that kind of makes me, again, worry a little bit about all of this. So this is New Superman ditches the patriotism for politics under James Gunn's No American Way. This has been a point of contention for a while, right? Like a lot of people have talked about in the comics, they even got rid of or tried to get rid of the truth, justice, and the American way, trying to make Superman a little bit more of like this world savior, which he can be, but he's traditionally an American character, right? Like, so why do we have to shy away from that? This says, in what comes as no surprise, James Gunn's, by the way, this is from Comic Book News website. It says, in what comes as no surprise, James Gunn's Superman ditches the classic and traditional motto of the Man of Steel, replacing the American way with more political correct, the human way, which is stupid. He's not even human. The phrase truth, justice, and the American way was first popularized during the 1940s Adventures of Superman radio show. It became iconic with the 1950s Superman TV series starring George Reeves. It's a long time been associated with the Man of Steel. However, similar to Gunn, Bryan Singer also dropped the line in the 2006 Superman Returns movie. I actually don't remember that. I'm surprised I never caught that. Superman now fights for the human way. Official Superman movie merchandise features David Corn sweat as Superman, features a description on the box that replaces the American way with the human way. Superman most reconciles his alien kryptonite heritage with this human upbringing as reporter Clark Kent. As the embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way, he soon finds himself in a world that views these as old-fashioned. So with that right there, that does make me worry. A lot of things coming out. Michael Bay would be good too. I like Michael Bay. People give him shit. I actually have always liked Michael Bay. Uh, but yeah, that's some of this stuff. These are the things that make me worry about this movie. Like, when can we just get a movie that's made, present the character, let's have a fun story, give me some dynamics, give me some heart, give me some drama, without having to put all of the political messaging in it, or just trying to change the character to something it's not. They they did that in Superman Returns. Perry White doesn't say it. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember that movie. It wasn't my favorite. I saw it in the theater, and it was kind of cool because it was the first Superman movie that they made in years, and it was fun to see Superman back on the screen. But again, it was like it's just like a retelling of stuff that we had already seen in the Christopher Reeves movies, with Lex Luthor being the bad guy. There was no really big bad. It just, I don't know. It didn't land for me. It was all right, but I don't really remember it as much as like to get all into that. But worth to mention is that James Gunn has previously said that he approves all the toys and such. So this is likely comes straight from Gunn, which lines up with the reports that Gunn's Superman is more of a take on modern politics than a superhero story. See? A lot of stuff. This worries me. I'm not going to get all up in arms about it and cry and moan. These are just things I want to bring up as possible issues that this movie could be dealing with. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie, and so it could overcome some of these things. But some of these reports over the last few weeks of the reshoots have seemed kind of normal, but some of the reviews that are coming out cause for alarm. Political jabs, a course correction, and fan backlash concerns. Footage also features Superman getting mad at Lois Lane when she calls him out for getting involved in politics. Of course, the trailers also feature Americans mad and upset and throwing cans at Superman's head. Reports Gunn has laced Superman with political jabs, including Lex Luthor's mutant troll monkey army, meant to outrage lowly humans, storyline involving fake news, and fake news, nice, and even jokes mocking the Snyder Cut. Interesting. What remains to be seen is how much of it makes its way into the final cut. Recent reports has said that Gunn's Superman has undergone course correction. A lot is said to be writing on this movie for Warner Brothers. So why would they want to piss off more than half their audience? How did it work out for Star Wars at Marvel? Here's the problem, though, with that is I don't think these people actually care or pay attention to how their audience actually receives their movies. I don't know why. I don't know how it all works. What do they consider is a success to a failure? Because we see a lot of these movies that fail to make a profit, either come out even or they're just slightly ahead. Where is that margin where they're like, if we hit this dollar amount, then it's successful no matter what the budget of the movie is? And so therefore, put whatever garbage, whatever you want into the movie, it'll be fine. Why do you want to piss off half of your audience or more than half of your audience when you know that there are unpopular things in movies? I don't get it. These people are not that smart. So I assume this is going to be like this, and it's probably going to piss off a lot of people if it is to that degree. Now, it might not be, but so far, it's looking like it could be. Hojo's in the house. He said, but then it doesn't make sense. It has to be the American way. Just read Red Son. You see what happens when he's raised by commies. Yeah. They should just watch the Fletcher. Oh, yeah. I can never pronounce that name. Films for 30 days straight and then come out with a good script. Yeah, definitely put them back to film writing school. They dropped the American way in the comics during the pandemic. That's what I knew they did it at some point. I just can't remember when. I think in the comics, it's for a better tomorrow. Yeah, it really is just because it's that whole, not to get too political here, but there's a certain party of people that don't seem to really like the place America has in the world. They always want to kind of put us back a little bit. Like it's almost like being the best at something and then not going out there and actually performing your best because you're worried what other people are going to feel. Like they're going to feel discouraged or whatever when you beat them and everything. It's like they want to bring us down. It's like, America's not great. So let's take this where Captain America, no longer, Anthony Mackie's going out there and saying this Captain America, he's not really representative of America. He's represented more of like morals in the world. It's just these people seem to have an issue with things that are patriotic that represent our country. That's the thing that pisses most of the people off because you don't need to do that. lean into patriotic stuff, and I think it's going to work. That's worked for I don't know how long. Go back to all the Top Gun Maverick, very very patriotic, did great at the box office, right? A lot of people loved it. The only thing I remember about Superman Returns was the bullet hitting his eye and bouncing off. That's about it. I remember that. That was their big selling point in the trailer, that was pretty cool. And Kevin Spacey, I thought, did a pretty good job as Lex Luthor. Modern, reasons to spend money on any modern take in any movie. Yeah, I get you. Eric Guapo's in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Warner Brothers hates making superhero movies. Could be. What kills me about that scene in Superman Returns where we did all the ricochets go from the Gatling gun as... Jeez. Where did all the ricochets go in the Gatling gun as it bounced off Superman's body? Good point. Good point. It's all part of a bigger plan. Well, it could be. A bigger plan to suck is what it is. So, yeah. I don't know about that, guys. I'm still going to go see the movie because I'm a huge fan of Superman. I want these movies to be good. So that's not going to change the fact that I'll go see this in the theater. I keep seeing things as we get closer and closer to coming out, stories being written. I just don't know if it's going to be everything I hope it's going to be. And that's coming from a big fan of Henry Cavill's Superman. I really want to see him continue to be Superman. And the story idea they had for that Superman movie, I think, sounded like it was going to be, you have Brainiac. It sounded like it was going to be a little bit more of a hopeful depiction of Superman. Cavill was a big fan of that character. I think you wanted to get him more or less to like what you would see in the comics. And I think what they say, Michael Bay was rumored to possibly direct that if it had gone. I think that would have been cool. That being said, I'm not going to sit here and shit all over Gunn's Superman all the time for no reason, but I am going to bring up the issues I have with it, and this is just it. And it's in the news. People are talking about it. Pop culture shit. That's what I do in this show. So we'll see. They went to the Phantom Zone. Who went to the Phantom Zone? I'm not sure. Superman would be way more or get way more money than Fantastic Four if Sue is going to be the leader of the team. Great point, and that's a good segue. Let's get to that. I was going to talk about the other one. We'll just switch them up here since you brought that up. Hail the lore. Let me. There we go. Now it's working. So, from what we're hearing, Fantastic Four, like it or hate it, you've got the female gender swapped Silver Surfer instead of Norrad. That was already a red flag in itself. The casting in this movie has not been ideal to me. They came out with talking about how they were changing Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm to not be such a womanizer, woman chaser, which is part of his character, is part of his DNA. So you're changing that aspect. Now what's come out is that Sue Storm is pretty much the leader of the team. It seems like, so I didn't see the New Adventures, the Thunderbolts, but you have Poe's character as the leader of that team, right? She's the star, right? So again, this is Marvel kind of going back and doing what they usually do and trying to put the female characters front of the movie. Let's center it around them. And I don't know. I think this movie has a female director, and that could be why. I have no idea. We're getting the Sue Storm we deserve, says Collider. The last live action version. Oh, I did read this earlier, and it made me sick. And you'll see why. The last live action version of Sue Storm wasn't exactly a win for women. This is certainly not the fault of the actor who played in the two mid-2000s films. Jessica Alba, by the way, hot as hell, still very good looking, I might add, but more a byproduct of a more male-gazing era of filmmaking. The Sue Storm we'll see in First Steps is promised to be much more multifaceted. Curtis, as Curtis, who I think is the director or the writer or whatever, astutely notes, Sue is the real center of the four. If you go back through the comics, you'll realize that Sue Storm is arguably the leader of the Fantastic Four because without Sue Storm, everything falls apart. While not naming the past films directly, Curtis does recognize the need for the better characterization for women in these films, We had the desire to date aesthetically, but in terms of character and treatment, we should be front and center. It's like, hey, let's tell the best story possible. Early on in the article, the reason why they put it like that is they just talked about how they wanted to capture everything about the 1960s stylized as they could, but they won't go as far as capturing like a woman's place in society in the 1960s. And I love women. Shout out to, all the feminists at me with that kind of stuff. Canceled. You know what I'm saying? But they'll go out of their way to make it look as authentic as possible for the early or the 1960s stylized Jack Kirby kind of style. But when it comes to the female role, they're going to go modern feminist. That's what I gather from this. Jay Blue's in the house. The far left hates America, and yet they refuse to leave. Yeah, we should just all like buy them some tickets and just send them on to, I don't know, anywhere, Palestine or something. Superman will make, you already said that. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to bring back Cavill on to play Wolverine. They should. That'd be the move right there. Female Silver Surfer and Botox Betty playing Sue Storm was enough to kill my interest in the film at all. She's not that bad looking, I don't think. Flaming Storm. 3 strikes, I'm out. Yeah. I have less and less confidence with Fantastic Four. I probably will go see it in the theater, but I'm having less and less confidence in this movie every day we get closer to its release. They ruined the ending of Fantastic Four in the after credits of Thunderbolts. I've heard that. I haven't seen it yet, but I did hear that they kind of ruined. Which, again, who's coming up with the releasing of this stuff? If that's the case, then shouldn't Thunderbolts come out after Fantastic Four? Like the scheduling, it doesn't make sense. Between the female Silver Surfer and the new Sue being more of the head of the team, people are turned off from this film. Superman is way more working for it right now. I do agree with that. I think that, unfortunately for Marvel, and I've said this before because I think Marvel needs to have a hit with the Fantastic Four. They have to. But unfortunately, I think that could come in second to third of the 3 big movies this summer. We need to think of Jurassic Park Rebirth, Superman, and then Fantastic Four First Steps. I think that has a chance it's going to come in third. I don't see a lot of excitement. I did see a post where people were like, the pre-sale for the tickets are like 130, 140 million so far. I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes me think if that is true, then maybe it will have a good opening weekend and then have like a stiff decline right after that. Much like Captain America, A New World Order, or whatever. No, that was the original. What was it called? Brave New World. That had a good opening weekend, I think, and then it dropped off a lot after that. Women weren't CEOs and political leaders in the 60s. I mean, they weren't, but they got to change it, right? And they can't go that authentic, Of course not. She's all right looking, but she's too old. That's a great point, Roy. I agree with you on that. I don't think she's bad looking at all, but I do think the characters or the actors they got for these characters, Pedro Pascal's too old. This chick is too old. Like, presumably you want these actors to play these characters for another 10 years, right? Typically. So why not cast people that are in their 30s? I agree with you on that. Pedro said he loves following behind. He does. All right, let's continue on with this because you must have read this before I did. Here we go. Sue Storm herself, Kirby, spoke to Collider about balancing Sue Storm as a member of the family, as a wife, sister, friend, and mother, as well as being a strong force on her own, which is nothing wrong with that. Sue's a great character. She's a strong character in the comics. I mean, she should be. She acknowledges that the earlier comics were very much a product of their time, remembering laughing with Pedro, when seeing an early comic that shows Reed placating Sue's complaining by buying her a new dress. I mean, come on, though. Let's just be real. That works. I think that's just, that worked. So put it in the comic. But when it comes to her playing a mother, Kirby's all about making a practical and understanding real world expectations. It's the reality of embracing being pregnant and then carrying a baby throughout without falling into tropes or archetypes we see in the film around it. And it's a daily choice. Okay. And even when it comes to being costumes for And even when it came to being costumes for things, I was like, don't give me any like a dolly. Oh, okay. That's just kind of presented word. She didn't want to be too sexy. That's the thing. Not for the male gaze, you know. What makes Kirby feel truly feminine is allowing in space for vulnerability. And she didn't want to make Sue simply a bad boss bitch. Although it sounds like that's exactly what they're kind of doing, but they're wrapping it in a different packaging. I feel like they're doing the same thing they've been doing with the female characters, Captain Marvel and all that, but they're just wrapping it a little bit different. They're going to portray it a little bit different in the acting, but it's still kind of the same thing, I feel. She wants to ensure that Sue has a genuine feminine soulfulness and not acquiesce to a cute, sexy version of how men perceive femininity. See, again, it's the feminist thing. Push back against the men. The male gaze, what men want in movies. Can't have that. Can't sell tickets to all the guys who want to go see Jessica Alba be hot as fuck in bad movies. Although I didn't think they were horrible. But come on. Jessica Alba is great on the eyes. There's nothing wrong with that. Sell the tickets. Let's go. Why do we have to make it something that's not? Seeing Kirby and Pascal stand beside each other is quite startling, as you can get the sense of bond and intimacy. Kirby describes her on-screen husband as a generous and without ego, going into detail, I've never had a male actor as a counterpart who's been so utterly equal and supportive of the relationship, but also as the female character opposite of him. I just feel so grateful every day to have an actor like Pedro who is so generous. To which Pedro responds, to hail the lore's point, I love being led in a way. What you may identify as generosity for me it just isn't. I'm only inspired by, I guess, just powerful women have been the thing that has gotten me through being alive. So, to have the opportunity to stand by one, to learn from one, just a partner. It's a partnership. It's male and female, but it's also just a kind of transcendent sort of partnership in the work and in the characters. And so, I don't really know what the fuck I'm going to do without you, Vanessa, honestly. To which Kirby adds, it's rare for an actor to speak like that. That's because he's a bitch. Sorry. That is true. This dude, he's not a dude. He's not a man. He has no balls. He's no balls, you know? He just doesn't. He's a beta male. Yeah. He is the kind of male character that these people, the feminists, what do you want to call it, the lefts, not trying to piss anybody off out there, but if I do, kiss my ass. They love to portray as the real masculine males, the submissive males, right? The Tim Waltz of males. That's what Pedro Pascal is. And it just doesn't work, man. I think it's a bad casting for Reed Richards. This is everything I worry about this movie. As soon as they came out and said, you know, it's in gender swapped Norrin Rad for whatever the female character's name is, I was like, that was a big red flag. And all we hear about this is red flag after red flag after red flag. Now, I believe that Galactus could be cool, and maybe Galactus saves the movie. But I think there's enough people out there that don't even want to see this movie because of this shit. And that's all it is. It's just constant. It's the same old shit, Marvel. I mean, come on. I'm rooting for you. Like, I'm the guy here in sitting in here in the chair saying, like, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that you do the right thing because I want to like your movies. I want to go see. I want to spend my money on these movies because I like these characters. I want to see them on the big screen. I want to have that feel like I did back in the first couple phases of Marvel when things were good. But you constantly keep on doing this over and over again. Like, you didn't learn a damn thing. We just came out of the worst two phases after Endgame, and this is what you're giving us now. It doesn't make any sense. It's very, very disappointing. And yeah, I'll probably go see this movie because I need to make a judgment for myself on what is actually in it before I just go off the deep end talking about it. But it's just, yeah, no, I'm trying, man. Get on my soapbox, you know, my soapbox. Let's do it. Joe's the lone gun. I know, man. Rick knows. I mean, you guys know. You coming in the chat. I'm talking about these movies. I'm trying to be optimistic all the time, and I understand where everybody else is coming from that have been driven away, disenfranchised, or done with Marvel. done with comic book movies in general because of all this stuff. And I get it. I completely understand, but I have been trying to hold out hope, and I will continue because I think things can turn around. And if you do, great. Because I said before, I'm getting old. You know, I mean, I want to still be enjoying these movies in the next 10, 15 years, but I don't want to be having to sit through this crap constantly, and you're just killing your brand. I'm still hopeful for Doomsday and Secret Wars, the next Spider-Man movie. I'm hopeful for those movies, but so far, this, when I was saying that Marvel needed to have a hit, desperately needed to have a hit, I don't think this is the way to go. Sean Martin says, hopefully everything Sue says is something we all applaud and cheer. Also, any man's dialogue should just be the uplifter and all women. Yeah, I agree. Do you think it stands that every race and every planet sees Galactus differently? And maybe that's why we see Sue Storm or Silver Surfer with human features and gas long hair. I don't know. That's interesting. I used to be 50-50 guy, but I still want shit to be good. But someone else has to be the guinea pig. Yeah, I'll be the guinea pig for now, man. You know, that'll be me. I'll do it. Bring on the see now. I'm not willing to go that way because it doesn't matter if you replace the actors. Yeah, we got Pedro, who's a cuck, seems like, you know, beta male. But that also comes from the people casting him. That also comes from the writing, what they're looking for. That's not going to change with AI actors. It's just going to be the same garbage, but with AI actors. That's not going to change anything. It's still going to be it's still going to be it, you know? Oh, how the hell do I pronounce that? Boomerang. We'll go with that. It says, yo, the Marvel craze is over. You know, I hope not. But I feel like they're doing their best to try to make it that way. With this. Now, granted, I have to see what they're going to do with Secret War or Doomsday and Secret Wars. To me, that's the big be all end all. How are they going to put that massive event with bringing these names back together, all the characters, big ass story? How is that going to pale out? How will that do? Because if that's great, that they might be able to overcome a bad Fantastic Four, but so far, it's not a good start, and I'm worried. I don't really need comic book movies. I'm reading comic books, both new and old. If we really want to see save comics, it starts with the books. No, I agree. I think if you really want to save comics and or the movies, you need to get rid of the people that are running them right now. You know, in both the comics and the movies. The reason why I want to see these on the screen still is, you know, I came from an era in the 90s when you didn't see comic book movies. All you saw, you Batman and Superman. That was basically it. You know, then you had The Crow, which was good. You know, you had some hits there, but they weren't like this thing that they are now, where you every year you get a superhero, you get to see it on screen. So I spent most of my, childhood through teen years not seeing any of those movies, and in my 20s is when these movies started to hit, and it was awesome to finally see these characters on the big screen. And even if the movies weren't so great, like the Fantastic Four movies weren't the best, but it was still cool to see these characters. But now we're to a place where technology is the way it is. There's a call for these, or there was a call for these kind of movies, and I think it could be good, and I want it to be good. Now I'm only getting older, like I said. Like, I think of myself sometimes in a weird, morbid way that I still want to be enjoying these movies when I'm 50s and 60s or 60s and 70s. You know, I don't want to be sitting there at the end of my life being like, they haven't made a good comic book movie in years. And then I miss it. You know, I die when they finally do. You know, like that's, I don't know, it's a weird way I think. The actor that plays Doctor Strange could have been a good Reed Richards. He would have been. Yeah. Even John Krasinski, if they had kept him around, I thought he was, even though they killed him off real quick in Doctor Strange into the Mouth of Madness, I thought he was a good Doctor Strange. He was a character or an actor that the fans wanted. It was cool that they cast him for that movie, but they should have brought him back. You know, I don't know who's in charge of casting, but I don't like it. AZHQ says, so we need a new Image Comics company for 2025. That would be awesome. Somebody had that kind of impact. The thing about Image, though, the reason they had that impact is because they had the artists and the creators that captured the pop culture that could get that excitement for a new company. We don't have that right now. We don't have any creators in the mainstream that are so popular, they have such a big following that they could break off and make their own company and have that kind of success. That's the problem with that. So I don't think that's ever going to come anytime soon, if ever again. 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man 2, and Dark Knight were all I needed. Everything else is gravy. I like that you're satisfied with that, Steve. I do. And hopefully, and maybe that's just the way it's going to have to be at some point. I'm going to have to find satisfaction in the stuff that came before that was great and then just be what it is. But I'm not ready for that, you know? There's so many things where I see like a good movies could be made of good characters if the right people were making them. And I'm still hopeful that's going to happen. Right, Secret Wars. There have just been so many misses. I'm in the crowd that says it should have ended with the end game. Well, they kind of set it up. Like they basically fucked themselves with Endgame because that was such a final end to that story. And you killed off Tony Stark, and then Captain America gets all old and retires. That's basically it. You could have just stopped it right there. Like they fucked themselves with the ending of Endgame. It shouldn't have been that way. If you were still planning on doing a phase 4 and 5, they should have set that up a lot differently, you know. So they fucked themselves, and they shit all over the bed in the last 4 to 5 phase 4 and phase 5, because I think phase 6 is what we're going into, supposedly. Stop saying Krasinski. That's one doofy looking guy. Oh, Krasinski. I can't spell. I mean, okay. I like him. I like him as an actor. I like him as a director. I liked him as Reed Richards. I thought it was good. They might as well have Robert Downey Jr. play Reed Richards too. They might as well, man. I get I'm a 90s kid. The SH movies were disappointing until Iron Man, and I didn't even read Iron Man. Yeah, I get that. Next people will say John Hamm, predictably. Yeah, but he's getting old. Like maybe John Hamm 10 years ago. He's getting old now, though. You know, I mean, I don't mind him as an actor. That's okay. I can't read. You can't type. I can't read. It's all good, brother. He sucked in that tiny cameo. Wait, what cameo was he in? Oh, you're talking about Krasinski. I don't think it's so much that he sucked, that the writing was bad. Like, if you're going to bring in Reed Richards just to be on the screen for 2 minutes before he gets killed by Wanda, I think that was a mistake. Ham's a terrible actor. I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much. I haven't followed too many things he's been in, but he's got a good look. You know, he's got a good look that he could carry a superhero character, and I think it would be good. But maybe that was like 10 years ago. I mean, I think he's just kind of getting old. See, Magneto, to me, I thought Fassbender was a really good Magneto for that series. It might have not been like the most accurate, but I thought the actor was good. I can't actually think of anybody that would be like a really, really good Magneto. You know, I said this before, Daniel Day-Lewis would be great. I don't think that's ever going to happen. That was just, a rumor. But I can't think of an actor right now, because I said before, like, that's a character that needs like the gravitas, to present that character the way it needs to be presented. I think they got to be very careful with who they cast as Magneto. Well, after Secret Wars, just focus on X-Men. That's it. X-Men, says Steve. I wouldn't mind that as well, but I kind of worry about the X-Men. Until you cast the X-Men and let me know what the premise is going to be, I'm going to hold out worry that they're going to mess up X-Men. I had goodwill built with Deadpool and Wolverine, but that had nothing really to do with Marvel. You know, like that was a pet project of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It was something that, gave a shout to the Fox universe. It was much more a Fox universe movie than was an MCU movie. And it was just a shit, dick and fart jokes movie, which was great. And lots of blood and lots of violence. But the core of these characters, these phases that they're going for, Kevin Feige, Rob Liefeld has been giving Kevin Feige shit, and rightfully so. I think Kevin Feige needs to step aside and let someone else that actually has a love for these characters to make the movies going forward. I think Feige has become like a Kathleen Kennedy type for me. He's just kind of poison right now. Until he can prove otherwise, that's just what I'm seeing. Mads Mikkelsen as Magneto. I don't know who that is. You have to tell me what characters he's played. Any news on the new Spawn film recently? No. I have no idea where that's at. To me, I think it's in production hell right now. Todd has really stopped talking about it from what I've heard, and that's not a good sign. Because for a while, when things were progressing well, he was talking about it a lot. You know, as a Blumhouse had it for a while. He had Jamie Foxx attached to it. Who was the dude that played Hawkeye? Was attached, I think, to be with Twitch or something. I can't remember, but he had some people attached to it. Now he doesn't talk about it. I have a bad feeling, that we're not going to see that movie made anytime soon. I just don't, which is sad because I think it would make a really badass movie if done correctly. So we'll see. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, no, dude, I love Liefeld. I especially love the fact that he's not working for Marvel anymore, so he doesn't have to play cheerleader. And he said that before. Like, you know, he's a company man. When you're working for somebody, you're cheerleading for them. You're helping sell their books. You help them sell their products, and he did a good job of that. You know, keeping us excited about the future and stuff. But now that he's out, he's telling it like it is, and I think it's great. You know, you need a voice like that, someone that's been such a juggernaut, regardless if you like the guy or not. Which I think he's been such a big presence in the comic book world. So he's a juggernaut to me in the industry, speaking out now specifically about what Marvel is doing with behind the scenes, not paying creators, one with the royalty rights, or not giving them the credits they deserve on the movies. Just the bad treatment that they've been doing. And then calling out the direction of the movies, rightfully so. And Rob doesn't come from it as like the bitter fan does, you know, like he comes from just, you know, points of facts, you know, and I think his voice is good to have out there. So I think he's been doing a great job speaking out against this stuff. Okay, Nads played the bad guy in the first Doctor Strange movie. Oh, okay. So I believe the bad guy is a newer James Bond flick that seated Bond with a rope. Oh, okay. With the ball scene. Yeah. Well, that was a brutal scene. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, he'd be cool. I like him. He's got a good presentation about himself. I could see that. Yeah, that might work. Yep, that might work. All right, let's jump into the last subject before we end the show. So, it finally happened, everybody. They race swapped the Black Panther. I almost had to look at this to see if this was even a true story when it first dropped, because I was like, there's no way they're doing this. All of the arguments you see on social media, they're so funny. When people complain that like Ariel is race swapped to black and white character to black, or any character that is race swapped from white to black, people are always just like, there's fictional characters. There's nothing in their culture. It doesn't matter. They can be whatever color, blah, blah, blah. And the first memes and the pushback you would get from people was always like, well, what if they made Black Panther white? You'd be pissed off about that, right? And they're like, well, you can't do that because it's in his culture, you know. It's always an excuse of why you can't do the reverse. But Marvel, and I can't believe they did this. Joe Quesada's new book, and who's writing this? I don't know who's writing. I know Quesada is drawing this. I haven't checked it out. I've been interested because I like Quesada's art, even though I wasn't a fan of him as editor-in-chief of Marvel. This is the new book that came out, and it's revealed that Ketema is his name. It's T'Challa's son, and we get this reveal at the end after he defeats. What's the page down here? First of all, the art in this book looks pretty cool. Quesada is definitely not using his 90s style, but he's a great artist in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of the colors though. I don't get this kind of palette that they're using. I don't like it so much. I think it doesn't complement the art at all. Just personal opinion. But The World to Come is another Marvel Knights book. Priest? Okay. So is Quesada writing it too? We get this scene right here where they're fighting for the rule of Wakanda. And I don't know too much about the actual character. I've not read the book. I was just more interested that they actually did the whole meme, you know, the Ryan Gosling meme of the white Black Panther. And I love the fact that it's kind of got people pissed off. But this is one thing that I think is brilliant about this move, because this is actually good storytelling. You know, this is one of those things that actually kind of gives me hope. Not because it's a pushback with the DEI stuff or any of that stuff, but it's because someone is like, I have an idea for a story, and I think the twist is this. I think it's a good twist and it works within the story. It's not a political thing. It's not a race thing. It's not this. It's just a fact. I'm trying to tell a good story. That's how I take it. Haven't read the book. Could be completely different. But Ketma, or whatever his name is, Ketma, defeats an old T'Challa. And at the very end does this big reveal that I'm your son. Wakanda is mine. He pulls off his mask and he's a white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, you know. Now, picking the villain of the villain of the book to be a white hair or white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes guy is pretty tropey. But the fact that they actually went this way, two things. Either they need to drum up some drama and some people actually talking about this, some press, whether it's bad press, whether people are pushing back against this, people are talking about it, right? And that's the whole thing with marketing. As long as they're talking about it, they're probably happy. And they could set this up, but like, all right, we're going to make him white, but we're going to make him the most generic, vision of what the racist white guy is, right? If they're going in that way, that's going to suck. But the fact that they even did this, I think is hilarious. And it gives us a little bit of a chance to kind of make fun of the people that are all upset about this, because normal people don't care when it comes to stuff like this, but the fact that we've been bitching for years that we want to see our characters presented in a certain way. We're tired of the race swaps, and apparently it's only been one way. Now we finally get one this way. And I love the fact that it's Quesada did. I like it, man. I digs it. It's not like his 90s stuff to me is better, but again, you and I view art a little differently, I guess, in a lot of ways. So many great memes are coming out because of this Black Panther story. I know, it's hilarious. Black Panther is actually a mantle that anyone can be if they beat the king. See, now that's the funny thing, because we hear that all the time, and you're right. Hey, Lore, you're absolutely 100% right with that this character specifically is a mantle that anybody can be if you win this contest and you become the king of Wakanda. You are Black Panther. So when people always used to be like, oh, Spider-Man's just a mantle, Batman's just a mantle, anybody can be, any gender, any race can be those characters because it's just a mantle, and we obviously know that it's more than that when it comes to these characters. This is actually absolutely that situation, that you can become Black Panther. It doesn't matter who you are as long as you beat the king. So within that, I think the story makes sense, but I think it's hilarious that the people are freaking out about it. Just go on social media. I'm not going to bring it up because I'm not going to actually, it's not my position to sit here and make fun of the people that are freaking out about it, but you can watch. There's been tons of videos that I've seen that have been made about it, capturing the TikToks and all the comments and stuff like this. And it's just funny. It's funny to me to see these people freak out about something like, yeah, we've been dealing with this for friggin' the last 15 years, They say White Panther's costume harkens back to the original design from for the Black Panther. The what, Ketmus? This right here? Or I don't know. To me, the art doesn't look. I hate the color job, Roy. The art I don't have no problem with, or this Black Panther. I can't remember what the original Black. He had a kind of a cape, like, didn't he? In the original run of the Black Panther. You shall call me Master Panther. That's a good one. That's a good one. Has nothing to do with the fact that T'Challa has an Aryan son, almost genetically impossible for a black guy to sire a completely white child. Well, that's kind of the mystery behind it, right? Like, I want to pick up this book because I wanted to anyway, but I want to do it and do a review on it, maybe on Ot and stuff or something, and see how it is. But that's the mystery, right? Because they show, it's in this article somewhere. No, here it is. Okay, so they show earlier in the book T'Challa's wife pregnant. They're both black right there. So it begs the question: where did this white son come from? Was it an adoptive son? Did he fool around on his wife at some point and got another, like, a white woman pregnant, or what? So there's an interesting mystery there of how this white kid, this white son, is actually genetically related to him. So I actually like I actually like it. And not just because I think it's funny that people are going to freak that there's a white guy now as a Black Panther. I think it's actually an interesting story, and it's good for storytelling, which is why I've said before, it's hard to tell stories, compelling stories with DEI characters, because you are so worried about offending people, whether it's a black character or LGBTQ plus minus AI character. You have to dance around things. You got to walk on eggshells. You can't really put them through the ringer. You can't really give them a lot of struggles, female characters, all that stuff. You can't do that with them, so that you can't write a compelling story. You can't do it. I like this fact that you're actually presenting a story here that could generate some buzz by doing this, and especially on such a hot topic in such a divided time in our nation and in our entertainment. So I say kudos to them for doing this, not because of the controversial, but having the balls to tell a story that they want to tell. All right, words by Joseph Quesada and Christopher Priest, and art by Quesada and Richard Eisenhoff. So Quesada is writing this, and so is this guy named Christopher Priest. Now, somebody actually, and I don't know if this is true or not because I didn't look it up, but I don't know who Christopher Priest is personally, but somebody said that he is actually a black writer. So if that's the case, that makes it even more interesting to me that they're going to this angle, and that just, I don't know, tell a good story. What's compelling? That a white guy is going to be sitting on the throne of Wakanda. That's compelling. It is. It's a compelling storyline. It makes me interested to see where it's going to go and how it's all going to end. How's the child going to get the throne back? All that kind of stuff. But the fact that people just can't take just a little bit of nuance anymore, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of good storytelling, you got to push back. You're all worried because there's now a white guy that is the Black Panther. And of course, people are calling for it now. Like, let's get him in the cinema. Let's get him in the MCU. Ryan Gosling needs to be a variant of the Black Panther in Secret Wars. Just like really do it. I think it's funny. I like it. I saw it and I laughed hard. And when I found out it was actually real, I was like, oh man, this is good. This is good. Steve said, oh, I didn't even notice the costume was a throwback to the OG. I didn't either. No, the costume never saw the light of day, but it was Kirby's early days. Oh, okay. All right. Good call, man. Appreciate you. I did not know that. I really enjoy Quesada's art. I was going through his Spider-Man One More Day this morning. I like his 90s art the best, but he's a good artist. I think he can draw sometimes like this cartoony figures that can sometimes look odd. If you read the Ash books, the drawings and that I thought were it's cartoony. He has like kind of a cartoony style, but I dig it, and it's kind of cool to see him drawing again. I'm all about it. I'm going to check this out, and I think I'm going to get with Sean, and we might do a review of this in upcoming out and stuff at some point. The fact that Black Panther got with a snow bunny is the best part. Where the white women at, right? See mystery. People are talking about it. It's interesting, right? Christopher Priest basically put Black Panther back on the map during the Marvel Knights days. Oh, okay. All right. See, that was never an era I covered when it came to Marvel. I was doing the band thing at that time when the Marvel Knights stuff was going on, so I missed out on a lot of that. All right, guys, we did not meet our goal. Going forward, future days, one of the big things we're going to be doing here on the Ronin Joe Show, we're going to be running a goal every show. If we can raise $50 in super chats and or have a $50 super chat or greater, I will let either the chat collectively or one person pick a song that I will have to perform on the next Ronin Joe Show live. But it has to be a song that I can play on the acoustic and sing at the same time. And while I'm doing it, I want the chat to roast the fuck out of me. Like, that's what I want to do with this goal. We're going to do it every week on the Ronin Joe Show. It might never, ever happen. It's a lot of money to ask for. But I want to see if I'm going to humiliate myself, it's going to have to be for that. That's just the way it is. So we did not reach it tonight. We'll try again next week, but I think that'd be really fun when we do. And I have a feeling it could very well suck for me if we ever get that way. So we will find out next time around. Yeah, I've seen art from that. I've never read it. Didn't Kevin Smith write that? The Daredevil run on the Marvel's Knights, I think, right? Kevin Smith wrote it. I liked it. Some of the art that I saw, I think that was pretty good. But to me, peak Quesada was the mid-90s X Factor. Some of the stuff he did at Valiant was really good as well. That was my favorite. That was my favorite Casada. I would have to look up to see how it's played. If it's just chords, I don't know the song. I'd have to look up to see how it's actually played. But if it's chords, yeah, I could sing it. And I would sing it the best I could. Like I said, I can sing, but I got a lower range. You can hear it in my voice. It's a little deeper voice. I don't do a lot of the high stuff or the big vocals like that, but I would try it, and that would be the fun thing. I don't mind coming here and degrading myself for you guys to have something fun. So yeah, if that was the case, I would figure it out and I would let you know. But I think, like I said, if that ever happened, we would look it up real quick. You pick a song, I would look it up real quick. I tried to find it online. Let me give a quick look at it and be like, and I tell you right then, yes, I think I can do this, or no, I don't think I can do this. We need to pick a different song. But yeah, it'll be fun. Copperhead Road. Yeah, I'd have to look up the tab again to see how that is to play, but I'm down to do it, man. Anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a cool song or if it's a song that if it's Britney Spears, it doesn't matter. Like the whole idea is if you raise that amount of money, then I will sing whatever it is, whatever it's a spoof or if it's an actual song. I would do my best. And again, I think the fun thing will be that, you guys get to roast the hell out of me. I think that's good. It's fun. I might have to, the first time I do it, I might have to smoke a little bit. Yeah. Take a couple hits and then I'll play it and we'll see how we do. But I think it's gonna be good. I got my acoustic over there. I'm ready to do it. So who knows? On the upcoming shows, we'll try again next week, and we'll go from there. Until then, Tuesday, as long as Sean is feeling better, as he's been sick lately, that's why we didn't have the Spawn review. And then we had Ott and stuff, and he was feeling okay, but still kind of hard to talk, I guess, for what he's got. If he is feeling good, Tuesday, 8 p.m., we're going to do the Spawn review. We were trying to look at Haunt number 1 by Kirkman and Otley, with layouts by Greg Capullo. And I think we might take a little bit of someone to look at when Capullo jumped in on issue, whatever it was, 6 or something, and take a look at some of his art as well. But I want to dive into that. And then Ott stuff next Tuesday. We have Fusebox and the Don coming on to talk about some of the projects they're doing. But also we're going to be looking at some really awesome comic book art as well. Really good discussion. Sean and I are trying to figure out what works best for those two guys on the show. So stick around to find out about that. And then be back here next Sunday, 8 p.m. for the Ronin Joe show. We're going to try to do that goal again. We're going to try to hit it. I go on vacation in 2 weeks. So you're not going to see me after that for a week. So we got to get this done sooner than later if we're going to do it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, I think I covered everything that I could think of. Go check out. I dropped the Brett Booth cover on my social media for Reaper Destroyer issue 2. For those wondering, we have 167 orders to still go out. They're being packed up right now, and those start going out here in waves, and we're going to get that completely done, completely on the road. So all the foreign orders that we've been waiting to do towards the last, we're starting to get to. We're going to get that out to everybody so we can get going on issue 2, get the sign-up sheet going out, and hopefully launch it right around maybe August or September, depending on how it goes. Yeah, because I want to get going. Got good stories to tell. We want to dive. Oh, shit. Okay. Won't be for it. All right.
There's a super chat, motherfucker.
Okay. There you go. All right, $50.01 says Underneath Your Clothes by Shakira. Never heard of that song. God damn it, Sheldon. Let me look it up real quick. And I will tell you if that's something that can be done. No, which one is, how's that go? All right. I spelled that horribly. Who do we go to? E chords. Oh, B minor. I hate playing B minor. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, some anime boobies. Always interesting on these. Yeah, I'll bring this up for you guys. Nothing that will get me banned here. Let's take a look at this song real quick. But you notice on this stuff, all these advertisements always have like these anime girls. You notice that? Like all these websites. All right. Regular tuning. Nothing wrong with that. E minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, B minor. Seems fairly simple. B minor, I hate that. B minor is just such a bitch to play. B minor / A. G7. Where you at here? Bar chords. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'll try this out. I gotta hear it. I gotta listen to it and see how it is. That was definitely not one that I expected. What are you guys thinking out there? Yeah, roast. Like I said, we'll do this. We will do this. We're gonna do it. This is gonna be fun next week, and we'll close the show out. We'll close the Ronin Joe out with this every week, or every week that we get this. The next week we'll close out the show. I'll take the week. I'll work on the song. I'll try to figure out the best I can, and then I will play it at the end of the show. Actually, hold on. Let me do something real quick. All right. I didn't even think about this when I put this out here, but let me. Oh, good Lord. I'm not playing anything. Don't get all excited. Can you guys hear that at all? Because I need to know what the sound is going to be. That's what I need. Oh, this sounds too. You know what? I'm going to change the strings before next week's show. I let my daughter play with this because she's actually shown an interest in the guitar. She just strums the hell out of it. And no, that's all out of tune. Good Lord. All right, it's all out of tune. I'm going to have to tune that thing up. Pantera, hey, listen. It's your guys' dime. I'm pretty sure I can do this Shakira song, Underneath My Clothes. That's way out of tune. The fuck. But anyway, can you guys hear any of this? Good God. What the hell? P.S. Don't let your daughter just smash away at your strings. It might sound cute at the time. Oh, that's bad. All right. That's what I need to know. Can you guys hear the guitar? Because if that's the case, that's what I'm going to have to do. You know, maybe I'll hold it down here. I can sing it. You know, we'll figure it out. Cemetery Gates. Oh, my good Lord. If you want to talk about the coked out Phil, I could do that better than the Cowboys from Hell high range Phil. But again, that's complicated because then you have to play dime bag stuff. I have to be able to play stuff that's my skill level of playing the guitar. So that's Freebird after Shakira, though. Hey, whatever you guys want to play, man, or want me to play, I'll do it. You can totally play that on acoustic. Okay. I got you, man. I will do it. I'll learn that song next week on the Ronin Joe Show. We're going to play live. Oh, that sucks. I'm going to tune this up, get brand new strings on there, and we'll sing. Yeah. I can't play this entire thing because it's out of tune. Listen to that. Okay, this is going to be good. Shakira, what do you call it? What's the name of it again? Underneath Your Clothes by Shakira. Closing out the show next week. All right. Thank you, Sheldon. You're the man. As always. Oh, shit. And be thinking, guys, if you ever want to participate. Like I said, it can be one person or it can be the chat. If we collectively get it, then the chat will come up with a bunch of names and we'll do a poll for the name that everybody likes the best, and we'll go that way. So you and Dale should jam. Dude, I've said that to Dale before. He's so busy and everything, but I told him that when he and I used to talk a lot, he used to come on the show and stuff. I'd be like, dude, we should jam sometime. You know, he plays the bass and everything. I told the same thing to Art T. Bear. I was like, dude, you know, we should do something, you know? Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Be on the lookout for it. Let everybody know. Tune in. It's gonna be a good time. Some good music, some good roasts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about it. Maybe not necessarily about the song, but I'm excited about doing this and see where we go. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys as always. Kicking off the week on the Ronin Joe Show with me. This is a blast. Just talking, having a good time, getting some opinions out there. The chat has been great all along. Thank you for jumping in on this goal. I think this will be a fun thing to do next week, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm just have you seen Where Soars the Silver Surfer bass video? I have not. Yeah. Shout out to Sheldon. It'll be fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Be good to each other. Take care of one another. You know, and as always, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Oh, after credit scene. After credit scenes. I almost forgot. I had to give a shout out to the #1 contributor because the whole YouTube thing in the chat, Hail Lore was #1 on Thursday for the Otten stuff. So he got a ranking. Rick Saylor, as of right now, ends the show at #1 for today. So he's going to be put into the leaders role as well. And we're going to come up with a leaders list for everybody as a #1 contributor every show. So shout out to Rick Saylor, my man. All right. Picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.